Thanks. New developments now out of Holyoke, where police say they've made an arrest in Tuesday's stabbing on Meadowbrook Drive. Authorities telling us 2 people were hurt in that attack that happened at a house. One victim treated on scene by first responders, and the other was taken to the hospital. Now, according to investigators, the suspect, later identified as Jeremy Tebolt, took off in a Dodge pickup truck following the violence. A warrant issued for his arrest, and now police say they finally caught up with him, taking him into custody yesterday. He's facing multiple felony charges.